We've seen him do a great job behind the wheel of that truck in his few starts, so it could have been a problem with the wheel, maybe a loose wheel, possibly a tire that didn't balance properly and it just got worse. Joey, you know that any vibration when you're in a pack like this, especially when you're a rookie, oh, there it goes!
In the middle.
Oh no.
Austin Wayne Self upside down is the 45 of Majeski.
Let's hope he gets back on his tires here.
That thing's square on the roof. What a shame.
Ty Majeski and his truck comes to a stop.
You just know with all that movement, bouncing back and forth, side to side, trying to side draft, one guy zigs, the other one zags, and you have a mess.
It's just the intensity level keeps growing as you get to the end of these stages. You see 5 to go in the stage. You start to see the intensity level just grow.
0-2 of Tate Fogelman with damage. There's the 22 of Austin Wayne Self.
Austin, don't get stuck there. Back it up.
Wow.
All right, now try to turn it.
The rescue crews getting to Ty Majeski's vehicle.
God, that front tire is still spinning. Is that right? Oh, it's upside down. Left front.
Just shows you the speed, all the energy those trucks have.
We saw one of the safety officials give a thumbs up. That's an initial good sign. Don't want to speculate, but certainly was a good sign to see one of those safety officials give the thumbs up.
Vince, those cabs are so big, there's a lot of room for Ty to be strapped in there, even though the truck slid so far on its roof. I'm sure that he was well secured. And
yeah, at this point, you think about, like, flipping over isn't very common sometimes, throughout your career. I've gone through it, and it's a very scary feeling, and a lot different than what you're used to in a crash. And the good thing is, it doesn't look like he made any big impacts. He just flipped over and got stuck on its lid. And if they give a thumbs up, hopefully he's okay in there. The worst part, though, seems like you're just sitting there upside down. And think about when you unhook those belts, that's where you can really injure yourself, as you fall into what is the roof of the truck. When you undo those belts, all the lap belt and the shoulder belts come undone at the same time. So being smart about how you hold yourself up at this point is tough. And sitting upside down is not comfortable.
And there's the crews addressing Austin Wayne Self, as you see Austin coming up out of the 22 truck. The first incident of this race, as we're just 4 laps shy of the end of stage 1. And Ty Majeski still inside his truck as they are about to bring it right side up. Put it on its wheels.
I flipped here one day, Vince, on the back straightaway, and I couldn't get out, just like Ty can't, and I just kept begging the safety guys to roll me over so I could get out, and it took a while to convince them that that was the right thing to do. Obviously, these safety officials, the safety's really advanced. They've got the straps to the truck. They're going to gently roll it over with a lot of assist, and I'm sure that's what Ty's asking for to happen.
If they do this gentle enough, if you look at the body from the bottom side of it here, there doesn't look like there's much damage on that thing.
Yeah, but once they hook it up, he's toast. And you can see the front suspension, maybe that left front tire is really caved in. They're not really pointing in the right direction.
Majeski is a Gander Trucks rookie, making his first start here at Daytona. He's had 15 starts in the Xfinity Series, but running with Nice Motorsports this year on a full-time basis, teaming up with crew chief Phil Gould, who was the crew chief for Ross Chastain last season. Of course, they made their way into the Championship 4, so big things expected from Majeski this season, even though just a rookie, as they roll this truck back over on its tires. And you see the damage to the top of that Nice Motorsports Chevrolet.
There's a little more damage there than I gave it credit for.
Yeah, that's Appreciate your optimism, though.
You know, I always think that you're never out of these things. Look what Eric Jones did the other night in the Clash, right? You never know what can happen in these things. Didn't Earnhardt flip one over before and came back out?
Yeah, on the backstretch.
Yeah.
Got out of the car, and he said he got out of the car and looked at it, and he said, well, the wheels are pointing in the right direction.
Let's go.
Let me get back in that thing. Drove it in, finished the race.
Ty Majeski, 25 years old, from Seymour, Wisconsin.
And there he comes.
And what a great sight as Ty Majeski climbs from that truck.
I tell you, they rolled that truck over very gently. That was pretty impressive how they can do that.
What a ride for Ty Majeski. One he won't soon forget. Take a look and see how it all began as we go back to the highlights.
A push is probably the beginning, and yes, there it is. Todd Gilliland in back of the.
That's Fogelman in the 0-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, man, Majeski just turned sideways down the front, and it just tipped right over. NASCAR does so much work in the wind tunnel to have flaps, air flaps, different panels on the truck that blow away that is supposed to prevent that, but probably just one of those circumstances that put him in a real jeopardy.
Yeah, and you know, bumping through the tri-oval here is the sketchiest place to do it. And you see that big set that you saw that white truck make right there. He needed room to save it, and you try to do everything you can to not run into other cars. You try to do everything you can to keep your truck going straight, and unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time for Ty.
9 trucks involved. Let's ride along with the 16 of Austin Hill and see his perspective.
That's the best perspective to have of a wreck, Vince.
Yeah,
You're getting a wreck behind you. They're wrecking big time. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. All right, cautions out, back it down. Roll out easy.
There's the push. Push in the tri-oval. It's just not the ideal place this time of the race especially, but it's hard to make it work through there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just not the spot to do it. And these are some of the mistakes that will be made throughout this race. As these drivers have more and more experience, they realize, hey, don't touch each other going through that tri-oval. It is a decent turn, and it doesn't have the banking that turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 have. It's quite a bit flatter, so the car's not compressed into the racetrack, loaded like you really want it to. It's an uneasy feeling, especially when someone's tagging you in the back bumper. Although he didn't do it in a malicious way, he was doing it trying to move his lane forward and trying to, ultimately gain some stage points. But unfortunately, some cars are more stable in those spots than others, and some lessons learned the hard way here.
Yeah, really hard for Ty Majeski. Todd Gilliland will go on to race, but learn a valuable lesson. A couple of guys made some amazing moves to get low on the racetrack and miss this mess. How about those beautiful pictures from our Fox Sports cameramen, women, just doing an amazing job showing the folks at home the violence of this big flip and slide down the front straightaway. I was talking about a couple of guys that just really overachieved. Watch the 4 of Lassard and also the 52 of Stuart Friesen. When this wreck goes wrong, you got to react quickly. There's the crash, and look at those two already going to the bottom. Let's get down low, and just continue to go that way along with Ben Rhodes, and are able to avoid that accident. That's just really
heads up. And it's hard to see through these things, right? These big spoilers behind these trucks, you can't see a lot. But they were heads up, paying attention. They saw cars getting a little crossed up, as we say, and did a good job at just finding the asphalt. Where's the pavement?
How far can I go to the left, right?
Get me away from this thing. And that's really their best shot at getting through it.
Yeah, diving all the way to the left like they did, that wouldn't have worked at most places in which we race. But there's a lot of room down there in that area to avoid trouble. Unfortunately, Ty Majeski couldn't avoid it. His night's done. What a beautiful sight, huh? Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Chase the possibilities. Unlock discovery at every turn. Goodyear, more driven.
Pit road's open.